Started digging 4 waterways. Each one of the waterways is named after one of the Great Lakes. Mr. Wells was a great fan of the Cape Cod style of home constructions, and he wrote in all the buildable landings the homes would always be white Cape Cod style, either 1 or 1.5 stories tall, neither have a green or black roof and green or black shutters. That building code is still in effect today. There's only been one change in the building code, and that happened 55 years ago. 55 years ago, July 4th, 1969, Vermilion River Valley had a tremendous rainstorm. It started raining on the evening of 3rd of July, and by noon on the 4th of July, we were in flood stage. All the cities south of us started calling ahead saying they were flooding out. Our local fire department, police department went through the lagoons and warned everybody to evacuate immediately. Everybody except one family did. They decided they were going to ride it out. About 4 o'clock in the morning on the 4th of July, when their house started floating on the foundation and moving down towards the street, they called and wanted to get rescued. Our local fire department didn't have swift water rescue equipment those days, so they called the Coast Guard and they flew a helicopter down and airlifted the family off their road. Water got all the way up to the gutter lines on these 4 houses we're passing on the right-hand side. Water was up for a total of 3 days, but it finally receded. Most of the ceiling boards and wall boards were completely destroyed. Of course, all the businesses on the river suffered the same amount of flood water. The federal government mandated that the city change its building code and raise the floor level of every one of the houses that come along it. This big house wasn't here during the 69 flood. There were 2 small summer cottages here, and they were both totally destroyed. When the owner saw the condition of them, they put for sale sign on them. This family bought both of them, then tore them down, and then started working on the plans for this new house. You'll notice how high the floor level is on this house, and that's to meet the federal floodplain height requirement. Starting with the Blue Boat and the Ambassador, these 2 boats are tied up to what are known as boat lots. Mr. Wells left a number of boat lots throughout the lagoon, and the main purpose for the boat lot is to get heavy equipment ashore and tie up boats. You aren't allowed to build anything on a boat lot because they are designated as boat lots. You can't even build a boat box to store your boating equipment. We're going to turn and go into Superior Lagoon, which is the longest lagoon in the complex. As we're going in, you'll notice the house on the left-hand side has a blue covered swimming pool, or at least it has a swimming pool, whether the cover's still on it or not yet, but it looks like the cover's on it. As we're turning in, you'll notice the 2 sailboats on the right-hand side. They're called Tartan 10 racing sailboats. They're one-design boats. That means they're built exactly alike. The only difference is the hull color. This boat, Gotcha, is one of the national champions. This year, the national championships are being held in Chicago at the Chicago Yacht Club. So this boat will be hauled out in a week or so and loaded on a trailer and trucked to Chicago, where they will compete for the national championship. As we're in here, you'll notice this lagoon will be twice as wide as the next one we'll come to, and that's because Mr. Wells needed more dirt to create Park Drive, which is a standalone island.
Nice grill right there. That's kind of good. I need my yard.
You notice the house with white handrails. When they were building that house, the owner realized how high the floor level was going to meet the federal elevation level. He had to build the 3 patios with white handrails to make it easier for his guests to get up and down. small summer cottages coming up here on the right-hand side. These are typical cottages that were built in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, built right on ground level. In those days, the only heat in them was by fireplace because they were strictly summer cottages. Although some of them have had some additional work done on this house here, with a big window upstairs, had a new roof put on it, and a room put upstairs for a master bedroom. Well, this house, you'll notice how high the floor level is on it compared to the next one, which is still a summer cottage. As I mentioned, there are 3 swimming pools.